This tutorial is intended to provide you with a basic overview of how to go about transferring your citations to EndNote Basic from your previous Refworks account. In order to begin this process, you will of course need to begin by logging into your Refworks account, the link to which is located in the bottom right-hand corner of the library's website. Now, there are two main ways you can go about exporting your existing citations from Refworks, which you can then upload into EndNote Basic. The first is to go through and select the individual resources that you wish to transfer over, and you can do so by selecting all or by selecting each item individually as you go through the list of resources that you have saved. The second way that you can export your citations is by selecting an individual folder that you have pre-created and that you have used as a means of organizing your citations within Refworks. And you can select this by, of course, actually going and opening the folder itself. Whether you have selected items individually or you have gone into a particular pre-created folder that you have, what you then are able to do is at the top of your page, you will be able to see the share icon. Once you click on share, it will give you the option to then export the references either from, again, that large collective list or from the individual folder that you have chosen. At this stage, Refworks will ask you to tell it not only where, again, you are wanting those resources to be exported from. In this case, since I selected a particular folder, it has gone ahead and automatically selected that I will be exporting all of the contents in that folder. But it also would like you to tell it what file format you would like those resources to be exported in. One thing to note, just from trial and error with this, is that when exporting from Refworks into EndNote Basic, it would appear that it is the most successful if you export in this RIS format. So we recommend that you do just that. Once you have made those selections, you can go ahead and then export those citations from Refworks. If you have done this successfully, you should see a green confirmation box pop up at the top of your screen telling you how many references you successfully exported from Refworks. Additionally, you may expect to see that in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, that file will actually have downloaded to your desktop, which you can then later access to upload into EndNote Basic. Once you have successfully downloaded your RIS file, you will then want to make your way to EndNote to actually either create an account, which would be free if you're using EndNote Basic, or to go ahead and sign in with an existing account. One thing that is important to note, and that is a great benefit of using EndNote Basic, is that if you already have a pre-existing account with Web of Science, one of our library databases, EndNote shares login credentials with Web of Science. So if you already have that pre-existing Web of Science account, you do not need to create a new account at this step. Once you have successfully created your account and logged in, you will be taken to the EndNote home screen. From here, it is very simple to then import that RIS file that you downloaded from Refworks. First thing you need to do is in this top menu bar, hover over the word collect, and then select that you would like to import your references. At this stage, it will ask you to upload a file which will import your citations into EndNote. You're going to want to, of course, select that RIS file that you downloaded from Refworks. Then it will ask you to indicate what file format it is that you are uploading. In this case, you're going to want to scroll through the very extensive list that they have available to you, and you're going to want to select RefMan or RefManager RIS as your file format. Then it gives you the option to indicate where in EndNote you would like for these citations to end up. So what you can either select is, since you will not likely have any pre-existing groups, you can select unfiled, which will just populate them into one massive extensive list with no rhyme or reason or no organization to them other than perhaps alphabetical by author, or you can actually create a new group for these files to be housed in. One thing to note is that EndNote uses the word group in the same way that Refworks used the term folder. So especially if you were exporting your files from Refworks by whatever pre-existing folder you had them organized in, I would recommend that you go ahead and select that you would like to create a new group for these resources. Once you select import, if you have in fact indicated that you would like to create a new group, it will ask you to name that new group, and you can name that new group according to whatever you had called the pre-existing folder in your Refworks account, or you could create a new name at this point in time. Once you have imported this file, you should expect to see a confirmation message pop across the top of your screen, indicated how many references you were able to successfully import and where it was that those references ended up. So in this case, all 5 of my references were successfully imported into a new group that I created called Demo Video. At this point, it's recommended that you actually enter into that group that you created and verify the accuracy of the citations that you have just imported. Unfortunately, it can sometimes be the case that these different softwares do not communicate with each other in the way that we would like, so it's always worth going back through and making sure that all of the relevant information has in fact transferred over from Refworks into your new citation manager. An important thing to note with this is that unfortunately, when transferring from Refworks into EndNote, if you have any attachments on your original citations in Refworks, they will not make that transition automatically. So if you are a person who regularly uses the attachment feature within Refworks, you will have to go back in and manually re-add those attachments to the citations once you have imported them into EndNote. At this stage of the process, if you had selected to import all of your references in one fell swoop, you would then have nothing else that you will have to do in order to successfully transfer into EndNote. If you had chosen to go through folder by folder in Refworks, you would then of course need to go back to Refworks and download the next folder and upload that into EndNote one by one. But all of that being said, this has been a very basic introduction in how to go about transferring your existing citations from your old Refworks account into EndNote Basic, which is one of the free citation management platforms that will be supported by Treadway Library. If you have any questions regarding this process or you run into any issues, please do not hesitate to reach out to the library or to your liaison librarian, who will be able to offer you assistance as you are navigating these forthcoming changes. Thank you, and we hope you have a wonderful day.